Before we dive into user stories, we first need to give you a quick overview of Agile. This is important since user stories were created to ultimately meet the needs of Agile, so the Agile values and Agile principles also apply here. And we'll start with the document that explains the Agile values, the Agile Manifesto.
The manifesto says we are uncovering better ways for developing software by doing it ourselves and helping others. Through this work, we have come to value individual interactions over processes and tools, work in software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. One of the things that I want to highlight in the first part of the manifesto is really uncovering better ways. Uncovering better ways simply means learning. Learning as an organization, learning as a person on how to better deliver a software and interact with your customer and really deliver the value to your customer. So let's look at the manifesto items. The first one, individual and interactions over processes and tools. Individual and interactions simply means to me that we value people and we value interactions among the people who we are developing the product for. It's important for the team who are building the product to interact with the stakeholder or somebody who's really giving them what needs to be done. But at the same time, it's important that there are enough interactions between the team members or the multiple teams who are building that piece of functionality. So here, we're not saying that we don't value processes and tools. In some given situation, they're important. You might want to, but if you really want to be agile, we want to value the people and the interactions a lot more. So to me, this statement just really means we value more face-to-face communication or communication over maybe a quick phone call versus an email or creating a ticket and waiting for a long time to hear back. And that also sometimes have seen it creates a lot of confusion. So this is also where user stories come into play. They create that shared understanding. Business and the development team get to talk about the functionality of the work multiple times before they start the implementation. And when they are small and deliver every few days to few weeks, they get the feedback on whether they're building a right product or not. This tells me that we are going to value people and put the user in the center of our product because they're the one actually using the product. The second value of the Agile Manifesto is working software over comprehensive documentation. This doesn't mean we don't need to have any documentation. In fact, sometimes it can be quite frustrating if there is no documentation, and it can be also hard for the developers or the customers to really kind of navigate through the software. However, the key thing you want to pay attention on this one is really the comprehensive. Let's not spend a lot of time just writing documentation because the main deliverable is actually the product, the tangible product. The third value of the Agile Manifesto is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. The key thing here that you want to keep in mind is customer collaboration. We want to collaborate with our customer because we want to delight our customer, because we want them to come back to us and rely on our expertise for delivering an actual functionality. However, we want to change the way we write our contract or agreement. In the past, most of the time, these contracts were maybe written based on a business requirement or a functional requirement document, which throughout the course of the project, it's always hard to predict. And usually these requirements change and there goes the contract. So where now the development team also have the saying as they uncover new information, as they maybe develop the functionality and the business is allowed to add or enhance as they receive a small piece of software. So this principle is saying that instead of having a strict contract up front, collaboration is the key. So really work with your customer or the client throughout the project, and this is where you can create that win-win situation win-win, where if your customer or your client wins, you also win. The last value of manifesto is responding to change over following a plan. This value simply means having a plan is important. It's silly not to have a plan. But we need to be able to respond to change as they happen. Sometimes there's complexity, sometimes there's a market change, a customer change, whatever it might be. So as a team really delivers small functionality, the business is now able to make changes or add enhancements as they receive feedback from the customer, because again, we want to be able to deliver the highest quality product the customers are going to like and use. So here are the 4 values of Agile for you. You want to really think about how you can apply these values whenever you're writing user stories. But again, remember that this is a mindset. It's about an agreement that you can form within the company and the people that you're working with. And the people can really think about these values when they're making decisions in their day-to-day lives and in software development.